Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy technology principles applications. This is just a quick video, hopefully, about quick synopsis of my life to answer some questions that people have. And I understand how completely unprofessional these videos are. It's really all I have time for at this point. If I get a chance to, we'll redo them and we'll make them professional so they're easier to watch and easier to listen to. But for now, I'm really, my job is just to get certain concepts across, and I hope that's happening. So it is true, yes, I did grow up working with this technology with my dad, and yes, it is true that my dad, Gerald Orlowski, worked with Roy Johnson on the magnetron motor that had 480 plus horsepower, magnetic energy engine, no pollution, blah blah, and he presented it to Greyhound to put in buses. The authorities shut it all down, and that started our journey on magnetic energy. So yeah, all of that really took place, and you can look that up. He's got some stuff out there still on the internet. Someone's kept it somewhere on Gerald Orlowski. So, and yes, he was a very gifted engineer. There's no question about it. He had some extraordinary gifts, and he did a great job of carrying the torch for this model and for this type of technology throughout his life. And of course, he passed away before he got to see any of it realized out in the world. And that's, of course, whatever. It is what it is. The timing wasn't there yet, and we all knew that. And so as we moved into getting acquainted more with the technology and delving into it more and the principles behind it and how it was bucking the laws of physics and everything, we started to encounter what we thought were higher beings assisting us. And we knew how completely insane that sounded. We absolutely could not explain the experiences that we're having. But the thing is, we had so many revelations and bits of knowledge that were given to us that were proven in the real world. And so that things that we could not have possibly have known. And I mean, we've just had hundreds of examples. And so that really made us almost dependent upon that source of information. And even just simple little examples. One example was we were told that the speed of light pulses is roughly 4 times faster than the speed of light waves, something that we absolutely could never have known, and it was proven in labs to be true. So there's just all kinds of things like that. Most of it was technologically related. A lot of it was just about the workings of the universe, and then some things about the future. Now, I still am pretty skeptical when it comes to things that we haven't proven yet. But I do also understand that these beings, these guides, these higher dimensional beings, whatever they are, guardians of the realm, there's all kinds of different labels you can put on them, but they definitely have awareness and knowledge of things to come and of the workings of the universe. But when there are shortcomings or there are things that just don't follow with reality, I take all full responsibility for that. That's on me, because I'm not an expert at receiving their information and interpreting their information correctly at times. And so that's totally on me, especially when it comes to predictive things about the future and everything. One of the members of our team, Joanne Doge, who has passed away, she was a consultant with the team on all of this type of technology and everything, and she was extraordinarily valuable because she brought in a lot of revelations from higher beings that were very critical to what we were doing. And so there's no amount of thank you that we can provide her and give to her even now as she's passed. And if this technology if and when it does come out, she should always be remembered as an extraordinarily important part of this process. Another important part was my mom, June Orlowski, who was really the rock that kept all of this going. She really was the person that just brought it all together, organized things, organized the information, worked so closely with my dad and everything. Obviously, my dad and I, we worked together for years on this kind of stuff, and we had plenty of proof that the information that we had been given and that we had discovered, or however you want to say that, was true, in fact true. And with, we just had plenty of examples of it, not only with units, but other things. And those we had countless long conversations about the technology, the principles, the applications, the theory, everything about it. And that's really what all of these videos, that's the foundation of all of these videos, is those conversations really provided the framework and the foundation for everything that I've talked about. And now there's been a lot of videos, and they go way back even in the playlists and everything. So it's that was a really important part of our lives. And obviously, for a long time, we had to let go of the idea that it was all going to come out in our, like back then, like in the 80s and the 90s and everything. And we absolutely had to let go of that. Now, off the record, completely off the record, we had, and I had personally, I mean, obviously we had run-ins with the authorities and the FBI and that kind of stuff. And, I don't, they make threats and everything, and they will follow through on them. For some reason, they have not done anything to us, probably because we're really no threat, because we never, we didn't cross any lines that we couldn't take back, except at the very beginning when they were trying to sell units and everything. But other than that, though, we've been pretty good about, watching ourselves. And so, but there were, I've been blessed enough to have worked with and had conversations with very brilliant scientists from around the world, in different governmental agencies and top secret agencies that have verified and corroborated the technology and our results and everything. And so that's really, and I've been fortunate enough to do that as an engineering consultant. I've also been very fortunate to work on some amazing projects, and that's been, part of my life, and it's been a really fun road and a fun ride to have. But none of those projects were directly like the magnetic energy technology that I talk about in these videos. They're kind of more like transition technology to the magnetic technology, but not directly related to it. And because that would be obviously a pretty heavy breach of of all the things that we're supposed to be watching ourselves on. And now, as far as the future goes, I'm in the ballpark, and I've kind of already gone down the rabbit hole of trusting in the guidance, trusting in the technology, and believing and hoping that it will come about. The timing of it, I think, I don't have an exact time frame for when it's going to come about. Obviously, I talk about the 2026 thing and how important that is. But I don't think it's going to come out in 2026 necessarily. Now, there may be stages of release, but as far as like it being widespread, I still think there's probably a few more years to go, but I don't know that for sure because everything can change. So all I can say is just try to hang in there. I think the timing of it is so critical, and that's one thing we were told over and over, is the timing of the release of it as far as like being distributed throughout society has to be absolutely perfect, and there has to be a certain level of consciousness or ascension, however you want to describe that, throughout humanity in order for that to unfold. And I think that's partly why I buy so much into this idea of the accelerated ascension program and the information that we've been given about that, and that there's this program starting in 2026 that's going to absolutely accelerate the ascension of all of humanity. And I think part of that is because if it's true that the technology is destined to come out, and it's destined to come out before the extinction of the human race and before certain things take place, then the Accelerated Ascension Program must be part of that. Because in order for humanity to evolve naturally to the level of conscious awareness and interdimensional perception and heart-centered living, to allow this technology to come forth, I mean, that could take 1,000 years for that to happen. And humanity would be long gone by then if anything that we've been given about the environment and the extinction ratios and how critical everything is, as far as like how close we are to hitting extinction ratios that cannot be reversed, and then that basically will lead to cataclysmic failure of the environment and the extinction of surface life on the planet. And so there's all kinds of little like things like that still haven't come about. but I have to some degree try to believe in those things or try to trust the process, but I also am pretty skeptical when it's something we haven't proven yet. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but I just wanted to give just a quick recap and do a couple name drops and acknowledge people that have just been so important for this process. And we look forward to what's going to unfold. And I'll tell you what, as soon as we are given the guidance, we will be showing videos that are much more significant as far as proving the technology to people and everything like that. So that can't happen until the guidance is clear. So I will see you again.